Clara Dow, the power of self-acceptance. You know, in today's world, social media is like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a great place to connect, share, and express yourself. But on the other hand, it's also a place filled with unrealistic beauty standards, comparison, and a never-ending pressure to be perfect. We see flawless pictures, highly edited videos, and influencers who seem to have the ideal body. And if you don't fit into that mold, society makes you feel like you're not good enough. But then there are people like Clara Dow. Clara Dow is one of those rare voices in social media who actually challenges these norms. She doesn't try to fit in. She doesn't try to change herself to be accepted. Instead, she's built her entire platform on self-love, self-acceptance, and body positivity, especially for petite women. And I have to say, that's something we don't see enough of. So today, let's talk about Clara Dow. Who is she? What makes her different? And why do so many people connect with her message? Who is Clara Dow? Clara Dow is a social media influencer and content creator who's known for her strong stance on self-acceptance. But her journey wasn't always easy. Like many of us, she grew up feeling like she didn't fit society's definition of beautiful. She wasn't tall, she wasn't curvy. She didn't have the so-called perfect proportions that the fashion industry glorifies. And because of that, she spent years struggling with self-confidence. I think we've all been there at some point, right? Looking in the mirror and thinking, if only I were taller, if only I had a different body shape, if only I looked more like them. It's exhausting. And the worst part, it's all based on a lie. For a long time, Clara believed that she had to change herself to feel beautiful. She felt pressured to look a certain way just to be accepted. But then something changed. She had this realization. Why am I trying to fit into a mold that was never meant for me? Why should I change to be accepted when I can simply accept myself? And that was the turning point. Instead of chasing an unattainable standard, she chose to embrace her natural self. And let me tell you, that kind of confidence, it's powerful. Petite women and beauty standards. One of the things that makes Clara Dow's message stand out is her advocacy for petite women. Let's be real, fashion and beauty standards are not made for petite women. Everything from clothing sizes to body trends seems to favor either tall, curvy figures or a very specific type of slim. If you don't fit into those categories, it feels like you're invisible. And Clara? She's out here saying, enough with that. She talks about the struggles that petite women face, like finding clothes that actually fit properly, constantly hearing, you look like a child, or you should gain weight, feeling like your body isn't womanly enough. And you know what? She owns it. Instead of feeling insecure, she embraces her petite frame and encourages others to do the same. She proves that you don't need to be tall or curvy to be beautiful. You just need to be confident in your own skin. And honestly, I love that, because confidence, that's what truly makes someone attractive. Not their height, not their weight, just the way they carry themselves. Dealing with negative comments. Of course, being this confident on social media comes with a price. Clara has received so much criticism. People have told her things like, why do you always show your body? You're too skinny, eat something. You're not attractive enough to be an influencer. And this is where things get frustrating. Because for some reason, people think they have the right to comment on someone else's body. Why? Why do people feel the need to tear someone down just because they don't fit their own personal preference? But you know what's even better than arguing back? Ignoring the noise and living your life. And that's exactly what Clara does. She doesn't waste her energy on negativity. She focuses on her message, her self-love, and her community. And that's why she's so respected by her followers. I think that's something we can all learn from. Because at the end of the day, confidence scares insecure people. When you love yourself, no one else's opinion can shake you. Why Clara Dow matters. So why is Clara Dow so important? Because she's proof that you don't need to change yourself to be accepted. She represents something that so many people struggle with: self-acceptance. Think about it. We live in a world that constantly tells us we're not enough. We need to be taller, slimmer, curvier, fitter, always something more. But Clara's message is simple: you are already enough. And honestly, that's the kind of mindset we need to see more of on social media. I love how she's redefining beauty in her own way. She's not waiting for society to accept her. She's creating her own space where she is already accepted. And I think that's powerful. The more I think about it, the more I realize how important voices like Clara Dow's are in today's world. We live in an era where social media dominates our perception of beauty, self-worth, and confidence. Every single day, we're bombarded with images of so-called perfection: flawless bodies, sculpted figures, unrealistic beauty standards. And the crazy part? A lot of these aren't even real. They're edited, filtered, carefully curated to fit a narrative that convinces us we need to be more, to be worthy. And that's exactly why Clara's message stands out. Because she's not trying to be more. She's not telling people to chase an unattainable standard. She's saying, you don't have to change anything about yourself to be beautiful. You just have to accept yourself as you are. And I think that's something we all need to hear more often. How many times have we looked in the mirror and thought, if only I were taller, if only I had a different body shape, if only I looked like those influencers on Instagram? It's exhausting. And honestly, it's unfair to ourselves. Because the truth is, self-worth isn't measured by appearance. Beauty isn't about height, weight, curves, or whatever trend happens to be popular this year. Beauty is about confidence. It's about how you feel in your own skin. It's about owning who you are unapologetically. And that's exactly what Clara Dow embodies. She's not just an influencer. She's a reminder that we don't need permission to feel good about ourselves. We don't need approval from anyone to embrace who we are. And honestly, that's what makes her so powerful. Social media needs more people like her, more authenticity, more realness, more people who say, hey, I don't fit the traditional beauty standards, but guess what? I don't need to, and neither do you. So, at the end of the day, the question isn't whether society will change its definition of beauty. The real question is, are we ready to stop seeking validation and start validating ourselves? Because the moment we do that, the moment we realize that we are already enough, that's when we truly become unstoppable.